Did the Super Hornet just outshine the Tomcat? A Top Gun Maverick reaction video. Let's take a look at how the Super Hornet may have just outdone the legendary F-14 Tomcat, and what makes the Rhino uniquely suited to the mission flown in the movie. Before we get started, fair warning, this video contains spoilers about the movie Top Gun Maverick. If you haven't seen the movie yet, now's your chance to pause and go see the film. Still here? Good. In the movie Top Gun Maverick, Tom Cruise reprises his role as a Top Gun graduate and notorious rule-breaking pilot Maverick, some 35 years after the original 1986 film. This time around, he's asked with training current Top Gun graduates on a near-suicidal mission to destroy a reactor site before it gets built by a rogue nation. In the film, U.S. aircraft must fly a low-level course through a canyon at high speed to avoid detection by surface-to-air missiles which are placed along the tops of the canyon walls. Once they reach the end of the canyon, the pilots need to climb steeply and follow the mountain's contour to its peak. Upon reaching the summit, the aircraft must roll inverted and dive towards the bottom of the valley, a crater really, and using their targeting pods, deliver a pair of laser-guided bombs to destroy the underground facility. 2 pairs of jets will fly this mission, with 1 aircraft from each pair providing laser targeting while the other delivers the bombs. The first pair will open a hole to the underground site, and the second pair will destroy the site. Upon delivering their payloads, each pair must steeply climb out of the target area while avoiding the mountain walls on the other side, pulling 9+ Gs during the climb-out maneuver. Interestingly, this profile is tailor-made for the Navy's FA-18 Super Hornet, also known as the Rhino. Unlike the Tomcat, the Hornet and later the Super Hornet were designed from day one to perform fighter and attack missions. This led to design decisions that allow the Super Hornet to carry heavy air-to-ground payloads and still remain maneuverable. The reason for this is that the Super Hornet has perhaps some of the best high alpha performance of any jet today. High alpha refers to high angles of attack. All fixed-wing aircraft have what is known as a chord line, which is a reference line that is drawn through the wing. As the aircraft flies through the air, it will pitch up or down, and a vector is generated between the relative motion of the aircraft and the atmosphere. This forms an angle which is referred to as angle of attack or AOA, and is usually represented by the letter alpha. Every aircraft will stall when it reaches its critical angle of attack, which in most airfoils is somewhere between 15 and 20 degrees. The Super Hornet makes use of 2 important design features that give it unmatched high alpha performance: leading edge extensions or LEX and sawtooth wings. LEX is a small extension to an aircraft's wing surface forward of the leading edge. The Super Hornet has enlarged leading edge extensions that provide both improved vortex lifting characteristics during high angle of attack maneuvers, while also reducing the static stability margin, which enhances pitching characteristics. This results in pitch rates in excess of 40 degrees per second and high resistance to departure from controlled flight. Additionally, the sawtooth wing also helps improve airflow while reducing drag at high speeds. Between the LEX and sawtooth wing, the Super Hornet is able to maintain controlled flight where other aircraft would simply stall and fall out of the sky. Given this, you can now see why the mission flown depicted in the film is ideal for the Super Hornet. So what about the Tomcat? The F-14 was clearly the star of the first Top Gun film, and has a legion of dedicated fans. Many argue that the Tomcat was the greatest and sexiest plane ever to fly, and you can certainly make a case for that. However, in the context of the film, the F-14 would likely have not been able to pull off the maneuvers that the Super Hornet did during the strike mission. Still, it was awesome to see Maverick and Rooster procure an F-14 Mission Impossible style and then proceed to use it to down some felon 5th-generation fighters in the movie. The addition of the Tomcat in the new film was a pleasant surprise, as the Navy retired its most famous cat back in 2006. Is the Tomcat a better dogfighter? I believe so, especially in the hands of a highly skilled pilot. Additionally, let's also not forget the Tomcat's BVR performance with AIM-54 Phoenix missiles. Still, the new Top Gun Maverick movie really showcases the Super Hornet's capabilities, and it's nice to see the Rhino get some love. Let's take a deeper dive into each aircraft and see who comes out on top. The Rhino has been the workhorse of the Navy for decades now. Just like the F-18 Hornet it replaces, The Super Hornet is a multi-role twin-engine supersonic carrier-capable fighter and attack aircraft. With its larger wing, more powerful engines, and extended combat radius as compared to legacy Hornets, today, Super Hornets are used as fleet defenders, air superiority fighters, long-range strike aircraft with precision-guided weapons as shown in the film, fighter escort, suppression of enemy air defenses, close air support, maritime strike, reconnaissance, forward air controllers, and even tanker missions. Essentially, the Super Hornet is capable of performing every mission type in the tactical spectrum, making it the embodiment of a multi-role fighter. Along with this, the Super Hornet carries the AN/APG-79 radar system, which is smaller and lighter than previous radars. Moreover, this system provides enhanced view of the battlefield and allows for the detection, identification, and tracking of multiple targets at range. Additionally, as shown in the film, the Super Hornet can carry data link pods, which allow for one aircraft to lock a target and another to fire on it. What about the F-14? Meanwhile, the F-14 was designed initially as a fleet defender. Its larger size and variable swept wings allowed it to fly farther and remain airborne longer than the Super Hornet. Later variants of the Tomcat added provisions for air-to-ground capabilities, specifically in the F-14D Tomcat. The D version also had the APG-71 radar, the same radar found on initial F-15E Strike Eagles. The APG-71 had a 230-mile range, and by using the also new to the F-14D data link, 2 or more F-14Ds could operate the APG-71 at its theoretical maximum range of 460 miles. Had the Tomcat stayed in service, there were even more upgrades planned, in the form of the ST-21 for Super Tomcat 21st Century. This version was to feature an upgraded GE F-110-29 engine, which would have allowed the Tomcat to supercruise at Mach 1.3. An upgraded radar, room for more fuel, improved control surfaces, and potentially even thrust vectoring nozzles. Interestingly, one of the more prominent features of the Super Tomcat 21 was to be its implementation of leading edge extensions, or LEX. This technology was actually studied extensively in Northrop's F-5 series of aircraft, which culminated in the F-18 Hornet. In fact, if you look closely, the LEX additions proposed to the ST-21 resemble those found on the Super Hornet, which was in development around the same time. The ST-21's LEX, along with improved control surfaces, would have improved takeoffs, lowered landing speeds, and increased the F-14's high alpha performance. Additionally, the thrust vectoring GE F-110s would have further improved maneuverability, and the larger fuel area would have given the Tomcat even more loiter time and range. Imagine a supercruising F-14 with thrust vectoring, and you have the ST-21. Regarding future versions of the Tomcat, I took things a step further and made a video on the ST-22 Tomcat. I'll leave a link in the description below. However, in reality, the Tomcat was retired in 2006, and we can only imagine what could have been. The Tomcat that's procured by Rooster and Maverick in the film would have to be the A version, with its notoriously tricky and somewhat underpowered TF-30 engines, as later Tomcat variants were never exported to any other nation. Still, the Tomcat is faster than the Super Hornet, and the Navy really hasn't found a replacement for the F-14's range and speed to this day. So which fighter is better, the F-14 Tomcat or the F-18 Super Hornet? As they say in the film, it depends on the pilot in the box. What do you think? Is the sequel better than the original? Did the Super Hornet outshine the Tomcat? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy content like this and like to see more, subscribe to this channel. See you next time, and now you know.